reports come out from Howard Balzer that the NFL and the Rams had a deal that if the Rams drafted Michael Sam a couple of years ago, the NFL would not force them to be on Hard Knocks. Hard Knocks is a show that follows an NFL team in the preseason. They get a lot of access to team meetings and whatnot. And people are all up in arms. Oh my gosh, there might have been this deal. Well, does anyone really think the NFL would have ever considered making whatever team drafted Sam be part of Hard Knocks? There was already so much conversation about what a distraction Michael Sam would bring to the preseason and OTAs and everything with all this media. Of course, none of it was real. It was all just made up. And Jeff Fisher talked about that, the head coach of the Rams at the time. Many people talked about it. This is just not a distraction. But there was this feeling that May that, oh my gosh, this is going to be a big deal. Does anyone think the NFL was actually going to name that team the team that was going to be followed by a bunch of cameras? I remember 2 years ago thinking about this, talking about this, being asked about this, and I said, there's no chance the NFL is going to do that. They had the Rams had drafted Michael Sam with all this conversation. It would have been such a black eye on the NFL if they had done that. I know that it would have been in the sports media. The reaction to that would have been worse than if nobody had drafted Michael at all. If you saw what happened, the explosion that happened when Michael's team, his support team, said that there was going to be an Oprah Winfrey show, people went ballistic. If the NFL had forced the Rams to be on Hard Knocks, they would have gone insane. So people are all up in arms now. There was this deal. Of course the NFL was not going to name the Rams part of the Hard Knocks. Was there some quid pro quo that the NFL approached the Rams and said, we're going to sweeten the pot here? If you draft Michael Sam, then we won't put you on this show. Jeff Fisher said a couple weeks after the draft, he was asked if they were going to be on Hard Knocks, and he said, I don't think they're going to put us through that. He was right then. It was what we all thought at the time. There was no chance the NFL was going to do this. I was intimately involved talking on a regular basis with Michael's agents and his publicist at the time. I never heard about any of this. I remember talking to them about Hard Knocks and saying, I don't think for a second they're going to do that. So all this hubbub now, I have no idea if there was some quid pro quo agreement, but at the end of the day, none of us think the NFL would have ever done it anyway. So I find it hard to get all upset about this because it wasn't going to happen. Now, there is reason to get upset about how Michael Sam's been treated. I've written about this extensively. If Michael Sam had not come out as gay when he did, he would have made an active roster of an NFL team, period. I've written a 5,000-word piece interviewing dozens of people and citing tons of stats explaining why Michael would have been in the league if he hadn't come out as gay. So I don't believe Michael Sam was treated as other athletes would have been, who didn't come out as gay. So there are reasons to get upset, but Hard Knocks, the NFL not putting the Rams on Hard Knocks, none of us thought it was going to happen anyway, is just not that big of a deal.